Yeah, so I just wanted to get on here and talk a bit about what I've seen on YouTube this morning, and I watched it again a few minutes ago. It's this quote that a YouTuber named Ed Lattimore had talked about in his video. What he said was very profound. You know, I've actually did a book review of Ed Lattimore's book. I think I think it was called something about the Hurt Business. It had something to do with boxing, and so it was a very good book. I just didn't, you know, I didn't actually buy the book. I just reviewed it, because I didn't agree with what Ed Lattimore posted on his YouTube page from months ago, and so that's why I didn't really support him. But he actually had a fascinating life. Um, and so anyway, um, his video popped up this morning. I decided to check it out because, like I said, just because I don't agree with somebody or even like somebody, that doesn't mean that I can't learn something from them. You can learn something from people that you don't agree with or like or dislike. You know, you don't have to actually like somebody in order to learn from them. You can learn from people who you don't agree with or even dislike. Now I don't know about hate, but no, I don't hate the guy. So I'm just letting you know that. I actually think he's a pretty cool guy. Ed Lattimore is. It's just that there's some things that I just disagree with, and so. But there was one thing that he said this morning that was that's something that I actually live by these days. I've been living by it since the mid 2000s. The mid 2000s was when I had woke up and made that realization that nobody's gonna come to save me from whatever crisis that I find myself in. Most people, that is, most people aren't coming to save me or anybody else. You know, that's just been my experience. I've pretty much had to navigate whatever trials and tribulations pretty much by myself with the help of maybe one or two other people in my family. But everybody else was just looking to take advantage, basically. I'll talk about that in another video about those dark times in my life during the mid 2000s up until around 2012. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about this quote that Ed Lattimore just made about having to stand on your own 2 feet. He said that basically it's best to stand on your own 2 feet and not expect anyone to come help you out. And if they do come and help you out, then take that as a pleasant surprise. It's better to stand on your own 2 feet and expect nobody to help you out than it is to expect someone to help you out and that help never comes. And he went into more details about the experiments, the social experiments that supports that statement. And I can believe it because I actually lived it. So that's just something that it just inspired me to talk about it in this video. So yeah, shout out to Ed Lattimore. And go check out his Facebook page. I say this because, that's just something that, I agree with 1000% on that quote. I don't agree with everything that he says or do, but that's the one thing that I can stand behind 1000%. And so, yeah, go check him out. He actually lived an interesting life, like I said. So, yeah, go check out his YouTube page. Anyway, so what's been going on with me for the past few weeks? Well, I during the snowstorm that happened like a few weeks ago, I actually got stuck. I actually slipped into the ditch driving my SUV, and nobody that was my skin color was willing to was willing to assist me. I had to actually knock on the door of a white guy who was a military veteran, and he made no hesitations or asked no questions. He just put on his coveralls and came out there to to assist me in getting my vehicle out of the ditch and back on the road. So that's why I can say I'm not racist against white people or any other race of people, because a lot of times it's your own people that will try to stab you in your back, and sometimes, well, really a lot of times, it's the people that you at least expect to help you, like somebody of another race, or or another religion. Those are the people that's in my experience were more likely to help me out. You know, like whenever a lot of times when I get help, it would be from people who I least expect to help me. And a lot of times when I get rejected, it's from people who I expect to stand with me. So that's why, I'm not racist, or I'm not prejudiced against anyone because of what's been going on in my own life. So, and so anyway, so I was able to go safely home from there, and that was a lesson another lesson that I learned when it comes to people helping people. Help could come from unexpected. Help can come to you in unexpected ways. So I was actually going to call AAA to get me out of the ditch, but AAA took a long time, and nobody had been dispatched, and so that's when I went ahead and knocked on that guy's door, and he helped me out right then and there. He didn't ask any questions or anything other than where my vehicle was at. So shout outs to that veteran for helping me out. Ironically, I was on the road because I was trying to give a neighbor a ride to the store, and I didn't get far from her house when I slipped into the ditch. Okay, hold on a second.